Okay, now we're recording again. I want to thank everyone for being here and joining us. This is such a treat that we get to have David Dion on with us. And you are in for so much fantastic information. And this was a question that was asked for those of you who are HomeSmart agents, whether here in Carlsbad or across the country. This was a question that was asked in our Smart Ideas group on Facebook. So I had approached David with a whole other topic, and he threw out this one, and I was so excited about it. But before we get started, I would like to do a couple little housekeeping items. I want to thank all of our fantastic smart affiliates who support us, sponsor events, help make so much happen for our agents. And I want to, and I think Lori's on here representing Power Escrow. If she wants to do a quick wave, give Power Escrow a shot. We've got Lori Wrigley on board now, and she's there. I've got several agents who've already met with her, and she's doing what she can to help them out during their transactions as well, from the escrow side of it. And then also, I want to give a big shout out to our Franklin Loan Center team, Derek, Ivy, and Gloria. They have been so supportive. They're doing open houses with our agents. They're doing classes. I believe Derek has a class coming up soon. It's in our newsletter, so watch out for that. Get signed up for it. And Secure NHD, our newest smart affiliate. Give them a shot. And if you've got any questions, you can also reach out to Joyce Yoder with any of your questions there. Before Dave gets started, I want to go through a brief bio. So many of you, especially even here in San Diego, know David Dion. But I wanted to, for those who don't know him and know so much of his background and how diverse his background is, I wanted to go through, except hold on one second. Because I am on full screen here and all I'm seeing is Dave's screen. So give me 1 second.
But you guys can see my screen, right?
I can see your screen. So
right.
Give me a second here.
Yeah, I can unshare it. You want me to do that?
No, you can keep sharing. You're good. I was on full screen, so it was making it tough for me. Okay. So we're gonna, let me go through and say a few words about David so that you understand he's legit. This is what you've come to see and learn from. And I hope that you enjoy it. But David Dion, he's a team leader of the Valley Solutions real estate team at HomeSmart International and has been in real estate sales since 2003. David had a thorough grasp of internet marketing and was successful as an individual agent, selling upwards of 60 properties per year. In 2005, he founded the Valley Solutions team, which sold over 350 properties in a single year and over 1,000 properties between 2005 and 2008. In 2008, David founded Solutions Real Estate, a real estate brokerage with over 400 agents and offices in both Arizona and California. Over the next 8 years, agents at Solutions Real Estate sold over 13,000 properties valued at well over $3 billion. In 2017, David and his business partners agreed to close Solutions Real Estate, with David returning to residential real estate sales. David, along with his business partner, Julie Tate, who's joined us today, run the Valley Solutions team at HomeSmart. They joined HomeSmart with just 16 members towards the end of 2018. With 2019 being the first full year at HomeSmart, their team completed over 200 buyer and seller transactions. In 2020, members of the team completed over 325 buyer and seller transactions and are on track to complete over 450 transactions in 2021. Prior to real estate, David has a very diverse background, including military service, electronics, marketing, residential construction, and more. In 1986, David graduated from a technical high school in Massachusetts where he studied electronics. Immediately upon graduation, he entered the United States Air Force as an electronic warfare technician. He was stationed in Germany, where he served 4 years on active duty and received an honorable discharge in 1990. He enlisted in the Massachusetts Air National Guard, where he worked as a satellite communications technician for 5 years. David worked with his good friend and residential developer in Massachusetts, where they were constructing up to 70 homes
Okay.
per year. The projects entailed everything from land acquisition to roads and sewer, electrical, home construction, landscape, customer service, and more. David also worked in electronics at companies such as Motorola, General Dynamics, and Hewlett Packard. David was married in 1993 to Kimberly, and together they have raised 2 sons, Kyle, who is in the United States Navy, and Evan, who just turned 18 years old, has fought and trained in Muay Thai events around the world and has recently joined the United States Air Force. He completed basic training on August 5th of this year and will be pursuing a career in special warfare. David continues to run and grow a successful real estate business and focuses on helping and training others. He is continually researching and learning new
Automatically
strategies
adjust microphone.
that allow his
Suppress
agents.
background noise.
Excuse me, can we mute? Allow his agents to generate more business opportunities for
Yo
themselves,
en el
as well
momento
as
que lo
provide
meto,
exceptional
deja de
service.
sonar afuera.
I am going to, give me 1 second.
Desde que compré esta computadora no logro dominarla.
I'm going to, I want to hit mute all. If I can ask everyone to mute themselves, please.
Te está pidiendo que mute yourself.
I can see who it is on my screen. Oh,
I can't see who it is.
it's Bernardo.
Oh, okay, there it is. There.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, but
I think we missed some of that bio. Can you start over? Yeah, don't do that. Just joking.
I won't do it. But first of all, thank you for your service. Thank your whole family for their service now with both of your sons too. And thank you for your service to other realtors and all that you do for training. And I'm going to let you take it away.
So cool. Thank you very much, Kelly. Thanks for inviting me to do this. I'll just start with, listening to the bio. I actually view myself as just a real estate agent, just like you guys. Okay. So I can wake up every morning. I know what your challenges are. And in this class, I'm going to show you how I would spend my marketing money. Okay. So I was in that Facebook group, like Kelly had mentioned, and I saw somebody ask this question right here. They didn't ask me, but they just added the question. If you had $24,000 per year to spend on marketing, how would you spend it? And I actually had the answer for that in probably less than a minute, meaning I was so clear on how I would spend this money. I responded, I got some likes and some comments, but then Kelly had contacted me to do a class, and I can't remember what the topic was, or I can't remember the exact topic, but I actually thought this would be a fantastic topic. And then I would expand on this topic a little bit and not only just share what I would do if I had $24,000 a year, but what if I only had $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year? Or what if I had $500 a month? What if I had $250 a month, all the way to zero, literally? What would I do if I woke up today and I had no money? How would I still generate income in real estate sales? So that's what this class is going to cover. With that said, I have no stop time on this, meaning it's 4:14 a.m. here. My day is just getting started. So I can go, and for anybody that's ever been in any of my classes, I'm going to talk about this topic, but I'm also probably going to go off topic a lot. But hopefully going off topic complements what we're trying to approach here. And one more thing, I'm only going to show you things that I would physically do or actually do myself. A lot of classes we go to, the person teaching the class has never done what they teach, or will never do what they teach, or I hate to say it, they just learned it like 3 hours ago. And now all of a sudden they're like an expert teaching this class. No, these are real things that I would do every single day. So I'm going to start off with, I call them nuggets of wisdom. We call them anything. I actually have 4 pages of these nuggets of wisdom now, and I have to start off with these because if I don't, they're just going to come up all the way through the presentation, because as I'm talking, I have things just pop into my head, and I want to share them, and then maybe this will keep us on topic a little bit more. But I want you guys to all understand a few things. For starters, we are in a competitive business, and there's a lot of money to be made. I think the key word right there is business. Do not view yourself as a real estate agent waiting for your phone to ring. I did that. And literally, I got my real estate license and I was like, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. When's my phone going to ring? Within 1 hour, I realized my phone was not going to ring. It's like, whoa, what do I do now? And that's what you see now. This is where I am. I mean, that was literally, that's not even an exaggeration. That is a true story. My first hour in real estate. Now, I write this next one. If you do exactly what everyone does, you will not have an unfair advantage. I want you to really think about that. If you do what everybody else does, you will have an equal chance of getting business. Well, if we're in a competitive business and you're satisfied with an equal chance of getting business, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're in business, you want to give yourself advantages. And I say an unfair advantage, they're not unfair. It's fair. You're just going to do more than other people to get more business. Now, if you're going to do anything, I say set out to do it better than all others. And I use open houses as an example on this. I used to do open houses the way I was taught to do open houses. I would set up my signs. I would sit in the kitchen. I'd keep an eye on the front door. I would greet somebody. So I would go and greet them. And then I would say, hey, I'm going to be hanging out in the kitchen. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to walk around. That was not doing an open house better than all others. That was doing it the way I was taught to do it. But literally, if you're going to do something like open houses, I challenge you to do it better than everybody else. And then you'll get more deals from it. You as a real estate agent or a business, I want you to make your offer so good that working with you becomes an absolute no-brainer. Okay. A lot of us just real estate agents, again, waiting for our phone to ring, hoping our phone rings. We're doing a little bit of farming. We're doing a little bit of Facebook posting. But what is your offer? Why should somebody contact you? And I meet with a lot of agents, and a lot of agents, they're like, I'm not doing as much as I want to do. And one of the first questions I ask them usually is I say, okay, so tell me, why should somebody use you to buy their house? Or why should somebody use you to sell their home? And if you can't give a rock star answer, knock their socks off with that simple question, I challenge you to work on that. Because you've got to be 100% clear why people should use you. And a lot of agents cannot answer that question. And that's the truth. So just think about these things. This class, it's how I would spend $24,000 a year. And I actually think this next part is super important, where I suggest making all spending decisions on a yearly basis and not a monthly basis. Now, I say all spending decisions, I'm talking about marketing plans, money you're going to spend on marketing. Okay. So when I was getting started in real estate, people would say like, hey, you should hire an assistant. It's only $3,000 a month and you can cancel if it doesn't work out. And I think that's fine when you hire people, but when you make a decision to market your business, I think you should think bigger. And farming is a perfect example of that. The strategy of farming. Most agents start farming and they do it for a month or two and then they stop. And I don't know why they stop. Maybe they didn't get immediate results. Maybe they didn't have the money to do it, whatever, but you've got to make these decisions that I'm going to talk about today on a yearly basis. So it doesn't have to be the $24,000 a year, but do not throw money at something for a month and see if it works and then quit. Too many agents do that. So social media can be viewed as a free audience. It doesn't cost money to be on Facebook. It doesn't cost money to post on your wall. It's free. Start directing people towards you every chance you get. Let me talk about that. Everybody on this call, on this Zoom meeting right now, I bet you can go on Facebook and you can look at other people's posts. And a lot of people share news stories, but they share a link to that story to an external website. So let's just say there's real estate news. They share a link about the real estate market to like Inman News. And what happens is the person that's viewing your post, they see your name, they see a topic that interests them, and they click the link and it brings them away from you. Think about that. You're bringing people away. So everybody's on social media sharing stuff, but they're sharing stuff in other places. Think about ways to bring those people towards you. Maybe you put that content on your website or your Facebook page, and then you link to you. Don't link away from you, link towards you. Now, the next one, again, is just, if you've never thought about this, the easiest lead to convert is the one who calls you. So every bit of lead generation I do, the fundamental thing that I'm trying to get accomplished is to get them to contact me. Much easier when a lead contacts me. We're not cold calling people. We're not doing any of the stuff. I'm sorry. We want them to contact us. Let's just leave it at that right now. Now, I used to teach classes and I used to say, who has a website in the class? And out of 100 people at the time, 50 hands would go up. So 50 real estate agents had a website out of 100. And then I would ask them, I would say, okay, out of all you 50 people that have websites, how many of you get leads for your website? And from your website. And of those 50 hands, about 40 of them would go down. So now that means only 10 people out of 100 get leads from websites, and only 10 out of the 50. So then I would ask them, I'd be like, okay, all you people that have websites and you don't get leads from your website, I would say, how much money a month do you spend on your website? And I'd get answers from $29 a month up to $129 a month. So agents were spending $29 a month, $59 a month, $79 a month. And I would pick somebody and I'd be like, how much are you paying for your website? And they would say $79 a month. And I'd say, how long have you had your website? And they would say 5 years. Now, funny, this was over 5 years ago. So that same agent would probably say 12 years. I've had my website for 12 years. And I'd be like, okay, let me ask you this. You've had your website for 12 years. You're spending $80 a month. So that's $1,000 a month, $1,000 a year that you're spending on your website. And you've had it for 12 years. So you've spent $12,000 on your website and you've never gotten a lead from it. And they would say, yes. And the rest of the audience would gasp like, oh. And the majority of the people like, wait a second, that's me. I'm spending all this money on website. I don't even get a lead. So think about that. Your website is worthless unless people know it exists and people use it. Once people know your website exists, then they will start contacting you, and that's called a lead. Okay. For me, marketing, I have broken marketing down to the simplest little thing where to me, marketing is not hard. It is as simple as delivering the right message to the right person at the right time. That's as easy as it is. So the message, what is my message going to be? My message might be, did you know that VA home buyers or military veterans can purchase a home with no money down? Well, if you put that message in front of enough veterans, who's the audience, at the right time, you'll get leads from it and you'll do deals. So just think about marketing as three simple things. Create the message, identify your audience, and deliver that message. And then every single thing you do should be done with a purpose and clear expectations. So for me, I would not, and I use open houses as an example. We're not even going to talk about open houses in the class, but I'm not going to do an open house unless I know exactly why I'm doing the open house and exactly what I expect to get from the open house. So a lot of agents just sort of show up and they kind of hope they get some traffic and maybe convert a deal, convert a lead. And to me, that's not good enough. I want to have a clear purpose, exactly why I'm there. Am I going to meet neighbors? When neighbors walk in, am I going to have something for them? When buyers show up, am I going to wow them with my offer to show them why they should work with me? And then as a result, am I going to do deals from the open house? And if I do an open house, I have answers to all those, and it's going to result in deals. And like I said, I'm only using open houses as an example. There's 200 ways to market, but don't just do it. Know exactly why you're going to do it and exactly what you're going to get. Now, our business is actually super simple because the very best agents and the very highest producing agents, and even the worst agents, everything they do is there for you to see. Nobody has these secrets. Like their marketing, they've got to market to the public. You're the public. Just start looking what all these agents are doing, and every single day, just do something a little better than them. If somebody sends the best marketing piece you've ever seen in the mail, I would take that marketing piece and go build a better one. If you saw a Facebook ad and you're on Facebook just burning time and you see this ad and you're like, I would click on that ad. It's your opportunity to remember what that ad looks like and go make a better one. Another thing, you're not entitled to anything in this business. One of the things that it doesn't bother me, but it makes me wonder what's going on. When an agent posts publicly on Facebook that they are so upset that their neighbor listed with somebody else or their best friend listed their home with somebody else, you're not entitled to that business. You have to earn that business the same. You have to earn that business even more than everybody else. This is your friend. This is your neighbor. They need to know you're a realtor and know you're going to take care of them. And there may be a reason they chose not to work with you. There may be financial reasons that they don't want to disclose. So you're not entitled to any business. You have to earn every single thing you do. And you have to understand that not everybody's going to use you, period. We're talking about money today. We're talking about spending money, a marketing budget. I'm just going to say this: money buys time and leverage. Okay. I know how to be successful in this business with no money, period. I'm going to work my butt off, and we'll talk about that, but I'm going to have to physically do things. I'm going to have to physically visit a house. I'm going to have to physically do things. When you have money to invest, you can take away the time involved with you physically doing the activity. And then just a nugget here, the very best way to get a listing is to have a buyer. I've said it forever. Don't market for listings, market for the buyer that you have. Go find your buyer house. I wasn't going to talk about this, but my very first marketing piece, I had a buyer, and my buyer was living in a hotel because I could not find them a house. This was in like 2007, 2006 or 2005. My buyers were living in a hotel because I couldn't find them a house. They wanted a simple house. They wanted a single level, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage in a certain neighborhood. So I put together a marketing piece to find them a house. This is when the average sale price in Arizona was $250,000. I got $1.7 million worth of listings from my very first marketing piece. And it was a marketing piece because I had a buyer and I could not find them a house. Ironically, my marketing piece did not find them a house. So my marketing piece got other people to contact me to help them. So just keep that in mind. Do not say, wow, I got a buyer and I can't find him a house in the MLS. I can't find you a house because there's nothing listed. That's the perfect opportunity. Go find them a house that's not listed. And either you'll list it and put it for sale or you'll sell it to your clients. I got one more page of these nuggets before we get to the topic, but I think these are all things that I think about all the time. This first one, being in real estate, most people do not realize this when they become a realtor. You're not going to get paid for 99% of what you do. Like today, you're not getting paid to be on this class. You're not getting paid to do any of the things that I'm going to show you. You're not getting paid for renewal hours. You're not getting paid for creating a website. You're not getting paid for creating a Facebook ad. You don't get paid for any of those things. So you've got to get that into your head that you don't get paid for almost everything you do. When you do get paid, you get paid really well. Next thing, you should wake up every single day as if you have nothing. Start every day as if you have no leads, no opportunities, no nothing. You don't have a marketing plan, nothing. And then an agent on my team actually gave me this nugget not that long ago, but he wakes up every day and he says, what am I going to market today? That is the first thing he asks himself. What am I going to market today? Not where's my coffee, or do I have my tea time set for the golf course, or all those questions. No, he wakes up and says, what am I going to market today? And we'll talk about a lot of that a little bit later. Hey, look, at your website is worthless without any traffic, and you should have a specific purpose and expectation for every single thing you do. Don't just do the activities because you were told to do them. I added those at the end, and I already talked about them, so we don't have to talk about those anymore. So, Kelly, everything so far so good? All right, just looking for making sure everybody's still with me.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows too, if you want to put any questions or anything in the chat, let me know, and then I will periodically give a heads up to David and get your questions answered too as we go.
Yeah. I got no problem stopping at any time, hopefully clarifying something for you or whatever. So I want to talk about setting your marketing budget. So like I said, I meet with a lot of agents, and one of the questions I would ask them is I would say, how much money do you want to make a year? And I go fast forward. Like I say, okay, so this is 2021. Let's just say 2022 was a perfect year in your business. How much money would you like to make, or how many transactions would you like to do? And I get different answers. I get $60,000 up to $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And then I say, remind them that they're a business owner. And then I ask them, okay, so to make $100,000, how much money do you think you need to spend on marketing? So to make $100,000, how much money do you think you should spend on marketing? And I get a ton of different answers. I get zero. Some agents don't think they have to spend money to make money, and that's fine. There's agents all over the place that do not spend money and they make money. And then I get answers like 20%. Should I spend 20%? And I believe that if you get the mindset that 10% is your marketing budget as a business owner, and you do things that work, like some of the things I'm going to show today, if you do things that work, you will blow away your goal. So in this example, if my income goal is $250,000, my marketing budget should be $25,000 a year, which is exactly what we're talking about in this class, $24,000 a year. I believe we would blow away that goal. We would make way more than $250,000. So just that's a number to use as a baseline when thinking about marketing budgets. And now we're going to get right into the good stuff. And where would I spend $2,000 a month? I'll start by saying that everything here can be adjusted. And this is the first slide. I'm going to go over each one of these topics in various levels of depth, meaning each one of these topics is really a class. Each one of these topics is a week's worth of learning, is going to Google and searching and seeing what other people are doing and going on Facebook and being in Facebook groups and asking questions and reading and subscribing and going to some classes. So I can only do so much in the 1 to 6 hours we're going to spend together today, but this is a good place to get started. Okay. So the very first, well, I actually sorted these highest to lowest. Okay. So the one thing I would spend half of my marketing budget on is community and niche farming. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The next thing I would spend $500 per month on is Google and Yahoo paid placement ads. Below that, I would spend $300 a month on Facebook ads. And then below that, I would spend $200 per month on Craigslist ads. And you might be saying, well, I don't have to spend anything on Craigslist. We'll talk about that. So I do want to open this part up to questions because I just noticed, I mean, there's a lot on that slide. Does anybody have a question at this time? Kelly, you can kind of give me a.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Does anyone,
Okay.
Would you like to unmute yourself and ask any questions? Any of you? Doesn't look like it. It looks like you can keep going.
Okay, so good. Okay, go for it.
Craigslist? I'm surprised to hear Craigslist is still a player.
I believe Craigslist is one of the, I am so happy you said that, meaning I'm going to talk about Craigslist actually next. Craigslist is the first one of these I talk about. And let's hold off on that till we get to it and see if anybody else has any questions. I thought I saw Stacy had a question. I saw her on my, there she is.
Well, I did. And I was going to bring up Craigslist, but I'm also thinking about Yahoo. Does anybody really use that anymore?
Yeah, I mean, people do. I'm going to say that, and I do not know the numbers I'm about to quote here. Yeah, sure. 80% of everybody uses Google. We agree with that, right?
Yep.
Well, the other 20% use things like Yahoo and Bing. So 20%, you know, it might only be 10%, but I want you to think about how big of a number 10% is. With 7 billion people on the planet and 350 million people in the United States, the numbers are actually still big. So they're not to be overlooked. They're actually a bigger opportunity because they cost less to market on. So it's actually a bigger opportunity than a smaller opportunity. And sort of like with Craigslist too, we're going to talk about it, but there's reasons why I would market on these places, and I'll talk about each of them. So any other questions, you guys?
I have a quick question. I got a direct message on it. Any chance you'll send over your PowerPoint presentation so that I can pass it along when we send the recording?
Sure. I'll either attach it. You can remind me, but I'll either
Okay.
just drop a Dropbox link for you,
Perfect.
yeah, or attach it depending on how big the file is.
Okay.
All right. The very next slide is why Craigslist. So I'm going to kind of read what I wrote, but then I'm going to even talk more, I'm sure. But it is my firm belief that people are in the real estate section of Craigslist for one reason and one reason only. And that is to find things that they cannot find in other places. Because of this, I believe Craigslist is a great place to find leads. People are there looking to buy a home. So let's talk about Facebook. People go to Facebook to burn time. Literally, it's part of their routine. They wake up, they get on their phone, and they're burning time. They're flipping through Facebook as fast as they can. People go to Zillow. And people go to Zillow to look at houses, even if they're not thinking about buying a house. Literally, they just go to Zillow to look at houses. Do you guys agree that both of those are facts so far? So
Yeah.
if you agree that those are facts, ask yourself why somebody would go to Craigslist. I know that a person does not go to Craigslist to like just burn through time. They actually type in www.craigslist.com. Then they click the real estate thing and they are looking for something. So if you believe what I said is true, Craigslist is worth considering. Now, Craigslist is free and Craigslist is popular. There are still about 50 billion page views per month on Craigslist. And of course, it's all over Craigslist, but people are using Craigslist. I say that it's easy to post to Craigslist in volume. And let me extrapolate a little on that. I meet with agents all the time and I say, do you post on Craigslist? And they say, yeah, I posted my listing on Craigslist. That means they have one ad on Craigslist. And if you go to Craigslist, you will see that there's thousands and tens of thousands of ads. So Craigslist is something you cannot post to one time and expect to get results. Craigslist has to become part of your process, okay? The next thing is, it has to be fast. It has to be efficient, the way you post. So I'm going to suggest in this class here that you actually post 10 ads per day. But if you cannot post those 10 ads in 30 or 40 minutes, I actually don't suggest posting to Craigslist. I suggest not doing it because I teach this to a lot of different agents with a lot of different skill sets. And some of them aren't as fast on a computer as others. This is not a 2-hour process. This is not a 1-hour thing. This is something that once you learn it, you do it as fast as you can and you're done it. Therefore, to make sure everybody can do this, this is where I included it in my marketing budget. For $200 a month, I would pay somebody to post 10 ads for me every single day. It's that simple. I'm going to pay someone to do it. With 10 ads taking a half an hour over, let's say it was all 30 days, that's 15 hours. So you're actually paying somebody $12 an hour to post Craigslist ads for you. And you get your 200 to 300 ads up there per month. On the last thing right there, I say consumer intent is high. Remember, I believe somebody is going to Craigslist to look for real estate. They are looking to buy or rent a house. Now I'm going to talk about this. I said buy or rent a house. People on Craigslist do not look at the ad. There's an ad right there. It says $475,000. It doesn't matter if you put $475,000 on the picture, it doesn't matter if you put this home is for sale and not for rent. It doesn't matter if you put in there, don't call me if you're a renter. I only work with buyers. You will get people contacting you who are looking to rent. That is the nature of the beast. With that said, maybe you can convert those leads into buyers. So again, just because they're a renter doesn't mean you can't help them buy a house. My very best client of all time actually approached me for a rental. And I'm not going to tell you the story because it's kind of long, but this client of mine became, like I said, my best client ever because they wanted help finding a rental. And I'm not suggesting you hop in your car and show rentals all day, but if you get rental leads, at least have a conversation with them. Did you know the majority of the people I work with actually contact me because they wanted to rent a home and they didn't know they could actually buy a house with interest rates this low? Like, you can convert them with different scripts. Okay. So then I share the why Craigslist. And really, again, why Craigslist? It's because I believe people are there looking for homes, period. Then what should I expect from Craigslist? Okay. I'm going to post or pay somebody to post 10 ads per day on Craigslist for me. Okay. On day one, I'm going to post 10 ads and I'm going to get no leads, period. On day two, I'm going to post 10 ads and I am still going to get no leads. Now, if you do, that's the bonus, but I want clear expectation. Now, around day 3, day 4, or day 5, you're going to receive your first lead. And what that means is you are putting a good ad out there in a quantity that starts to make a difference. Remember, there are thousands of ads. One ad will not make a difference. 10 ads is like a dot on the wall. But when you start to get to 20, 30, 40, 50 ads, you have enough ads up there that you're going to start getting some visibility. Now, what's funny is, it's not funny. When you get your first lead, typically your second lead is not that far behind it. And your third lead's not that far behind it. So what's happening is you're doing this activity every day. So you get your first lead on day 4. Maybe you don't get one on day 5. But then you post 10 more ads. On day 6, you post 10 more ads. Day 7, you get a lead. Day 8, you start to get a lead. And all of a sudden, within a short period of time, you start to get 1 to 2 leads every single day. Okay. Now, that's 50 plus leads a month or 600 leads per year. And then the real work really starts with this and all other lead generation activities the moment you get the lead. Let's go back to my first slide. Your offer has to be so good that you would become the obvious choice to work with. And if you do exactly what everybody else is doing, you're going to have an equal chance of working with those people. So you've got to remember both of those things. When you get a lead, you have to convince them to work with you, and your offer has to be fantastic, and you have to tell them about yourself. So with that, your average internet lead is not only contacting you, they are contacting you and you and you and you and you, meaning they are contacting 10 agents. They are on 10 agents' websites and they are registering, and they're either registering with a real name and phone number or a fake name and phone number. It doesn't matter, but they are registering in 10 different places. If you do exactly what everybody else does, I believe you have a 10% chance of working with that lead. That's not good enough. You have got to send them personal emails, personal messages, utilize video, tell them why they should work with you. But now let's go all the way down to the bottom here and just say a very low conversion rate of just 1%. So every 100 of these leads you generate, let's say you only convert 1 out of 100, that's 6 closings per year. That's not that bad for a half an hour investment of your time every single day. And I have videos where I've been able to post those 10 ads in less than 12 minutes. So you can get really fast at it, or you can pay somebody to do it, or you can just do it average, but you can post these 10 ads every single day in less than 30 minutes. And in my belief, you can sell 6 houses per year. So I want to open this up again. And I see Stacy just took herself off mute. This is awesome because I want to hear the doubters. I want people to tell me why they think what I just said will not work, because I believe this in my heart. This is what I would do every single day. Go for it, Stacy.
I'm not doubting you because I used to do a lot of Craigslist advertising, but I was doing it once a week on Fridays, so I'd catch the weekend people.
Sure.
What I'm curious to ask you about now, since Craigslist has gotten a little more challenging as far as what you can post, what kind of ads are you posting on a daily basis?
Okay, so we typically have enough listings where we post single properties.
Okay.
Okay, now every HomeSmart office and every real estate brokerage is different. When I owned a real estate brokerage with 400 agents, it was our company policy that every agent had broker permission to market every other agent's listing in the brokerage. Well, it's the same policy here in Arizona. So when we have 7,000 agents in the brokerage, we have broker permission to market other agents' listings. Now, sometimes an agent may not want us to market their listing. We deal with that when it happens, but that's what I would do. I would post 10 individual properties per day. And it's okay to do duplicates. You can do the same property every 2 or 3 days. Remember, there's thousands and thousands of ads out there. It's okay to duplicate. Any other questions? Okay, one of the tricks to a Craigslist ad, though, will be the calls to action. This is what I want you all to do. I want you to go to Craigslist today, and I want you to click on ads. And you're going to see crappy ads, and you're going to see good ads. When you see a good ad, your job is going to be to write down, well, what made this ad good? Why was that a good ad? Or why was that ad bad? And then you're going to make it better. So I think I'm going to show you one here. Let's see. Yeah. So here's an ad right here. And there's a couple components to this ad that I want to talk about. Your title should be somewhat compelling. And I'm not going to sit here and say that is the most compelling title, but you can choose your title. So I suggest choosing titles that people would click on. Then I typically would not put more than one photo of a property. I want people to call me. So I want you to think that less is more. The less info you provide, the more likely they are to contact you for info. The price. You will notice in this ad, there is no price. This is something that I would bounce back and forth 50%. 50% of my ads, I would put a price. 50% of my ads, I would remove the price. For some, price is an eliminator. So if you put $600,000 on the ad and the house was only, if you put $600,000 on the ad for the house, but their budget was only $300,000, those people probably will not contact you because it's not in their budget. But now you remove the price, you give those people a reason to contact you too. So you can pick up a $300,000 buyer from a $600,000 ad. You're not eliminating people. So I suggest half your ads have prices, half your ads don't have prices. When you put the price, I personally tend to do it 2 different ways. If the house looks like it's such a good deal, like it's $299,000 and it looks like that house right there, I'm putting the price. That will initiate activity. Also, I will put the price on high dollar homes. I mean, Craigslist is not limited to $200,000 and $300,000 properties. I would put a price on half of my high-end homes that I'm putting here. Put $2 million on there. Either it's a looky-loo who's going to contact you, or it's somebody that's really interested in the house. I'm okay with either of them, because if you go back to my last slide, I'm only talking about a 1% conversion rate. That means 99% of the leads aren't going to work with me anyways. So I want to generate 100 leads as fast as I can, knowing that only one. And when I say one, everything I teach and show, I am super conservative on. I'm not sitting here going, hey, this is a 5% conversion rate. You're going to sell 5. I'm telling you 1. So there's no way that I can generate 100 leads and not convert one of those people. And I believe you can all convert 1. Can you convert 2? Sure you can. Can you convert 3? Sure you can. But I want these numbers to be like correct expectations. So if you sell more than 1, it's a bonus. Okay. So then here's the ad again. In this ad, there's 3 components to the ad. There's a little bit of information about the house, and there's a link to that property. Then I know that homes are selling fast. Literally, this home is not available. This was an older ad anyways. This home is not available, but I know that most likely that home is sold. But to see all just listed homes, here's a link right there. So now I'm saying, hey, this link may not be good. So here's a link right here where you can search all homes. Then in big letters, this home is for sale and not for rent, which doesn't matter if you put it there or not. And then the last thing is I have another offer. I'm a military veteran who's used my benefit 4 times to buy a home with no money down. Are you a military veteran and want to learn about your VA home loan benefits? And I have a link to a website there. So I said, go to Craigslist and look at ads. There's a lot of ads on Craigslist that have no call to action at all. Nothing. It's about the house. And then you have to contact the people through Craigslist. So I believe these 3 bullets right here generate at least some interest. Hey, maybe they don't like this house. They can click here. Maybe they're a military veteran. Maybe they can click there. And you don't have to stop at 3. You should give people options to contact you. So with that said, I'm waiting for somebody to ask me a question, and I see Demos just came off mic. So what's going on?
Okay. How about just sold or other marketing that is not related to a specific property?
So
bragging rights.
Yeah, you could easily put a section on there about just solds and links to homes you have sold, because there are sellers on there too, by the way. You could add this, you could fluff this up any way you want. You could even go so far as, like, as I talk, I think of things. I mean, my next ad, I would probably want to put, why should you work with me? Mm-hmm. Then maybe you put a link to a video saying, hey, my name's Dave Dion, and I'm a realtor with HomeSmart, and you have a lot of options of people you can work with. Let me show you a couple things that I do that most other agents do not do when helping you buy and find a home, okay? So first of all, we're not gonna wait to find a listing for you in the MLS. You tell me what you're looking for, I'm gonna go to work trying to find you that listing. Next thing is, you know what? I don't want my buyers overpaying for a house. When I work with buyers, I actually want them all to buy an above average house at a below average price. What does that mean? And then I might go into that a little bit. And I might say, one of the things I do that I know most other agents do is I actually do something called a comparative market analysis when I'm working with you as a buyer, and show them a comparative market analysis, an example one, and say, look, any house you're interested in, I can run a full report like this to help you understand exactly what the homes like it in the area are selling for, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of things you can do in there. But the real job does start once you get the lead. You get the lead, you got to convince them to work with you. Demos?
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, so you can put anything in there. Any other questions? Because I think I'm going to go on to the next topic.
Not seeing anyone so far.
Okay, so remember, I said you could pay I believe you could pay somebody $200 a month. That's like $12 to $15 an hour, 1 hour a day. I had the luxury, I'm not gonna lie. I had my son who I was feeding, housing, paying for his gym memberships. So I had built-in workers. So it was the same as paying somebody, but he would do this for me as well. There is something I want to bring up here though. If you go to Craigslist on a desktop, these links right here in the ad, you cannot click them. On a desktop, those links cannot be clicked. So I think Craigslist does not like you using the words copy and paste. Craigslist doesn't want you gaming it like, hey, copy and paste this link. So I use text here. I say, use this link to see the current price, picks, address, tour, and more. Smart, computer literate people have no problem copying that link and pasting it into a browser. Okay. So that's the logic here is they're going to copy that link and they're going to paste it. But Craigslist did something really cool about a year ago, and most people don't know. They came out with their app on their phone. So they came out with the app. And when you download the app, when a consumer downloads the app, those links are now clickable in the ad. So it is easy for the consumer to get from their phone to whatever you direct them to on your ad. So that's big. That's like a reason to put links in the ad when some people might tell you that links don't work. Okay, why Facebook? So remember on Facebook, I'm going to say we're going to spend $300 a month in this example, but we're going to go all the way down to zero at the end. But I believe that almost every human on the planet is on Facebook. There are tools that make posting to Facebook really easy. Generating leads from Facebook is also very easy and cost effective. There are now tools that when you generate a lead on Facebook, it actually syncs to their Facebook profile and provides you their real name, their real email address, and their real phone number. You can also choose your target audience. For example, if you want to show a listing in a zip code and you only want to show people around that zip code, you can choose your audience when you're doing Facebook ads geographically. Even recently, I mean, I posted some Facebook ads as tests, but instead of posting the ad for people that live in Gilbert, Arizona, I picked like a $500,000 home in Gilbert, Arizona, but I ran the ad in San Francisco because of the large number of people that are moving from San Francisco to Arizona. So I'm putting a $500,000 beautiful house in front of people that are in California that are living in a $1.8 million house that want to sell their house and move to Arizona. So that's an example of putting the right message in front of the right person at the right time. And Facebook allows you to do that. But the one thing that I will make sure I clarify here, and this should be in huge letters, I believe the consumer intent on Facebook is low. It's as low as it can be. People wake up in the morning. I have never met a person yet that woke up in the morning and said, I want to buy a house and I'm going to go to Facebook to find it. Nobody has ever done that. So the intent is low, but the cost per lead is low and it makes it worth doing. Okay. So let's talk about my expectations with a $300 per month marketing budget on Facebook. It's about $10 a day. And when you start running ads on Facebook, you will start getting leads within 24 hours. You will actually start getting leads probably within 6 hours of your ad going live. So the way the process works is I say, hey, I want to run this ad. It has to go through an approval process. The approval takes 3 to 6 hours usually. They start running the ad, and within 3 to 6 hours, you start to get leads. My average cost per lead on Facebook is $2. It's just $2 a lead. And right there on the screen, there's an example of an ad that I ran. And it's recent. I ran it 2 weeks ago. I spent $35. It was $5 per day for 7 days. I generated 22 leads, and my cost per lead was $1.59. So I'm generating leads there for $1.59. Other times it might be $4. Other times it might be $2. So in this example, I'm going to say, let's say it cost us $3 per lead. If it costs me $3 per lead and I'm spending $300 per month, that means I'm going to generate about 100 leads per month, which is 1,200 leads per year. Once again, the fun starts with converting the leads. But again, just with a tiny 1% conversion rate, this would produce 12 deals per year. I'm going to give you guys warnings though. This is not for the faint of heart, meaning you are going to generate 1,200 leads to help 12 of them. That means 1,188 of those 1,200 people are not going to work with you. 600 of them are never going to communicate with you ever, as long as you live. You could email, Facebook message them for the rest of their life, and they're never going to converse with you. Some of them are going to tell you they're not interested. Some of them are going to tell you they're just looking. Some of them are going to tell you you're going to hear everything under the sun, but you're only going to work with 12 of them. A lot of agents will give up. A lot of agents will categorize these leads as bad leads. For one, I'm going to tell you there's no such thing as a bad lead, because for me, it's a numbers game. So if I know 1 out of 100 are going to buy a house, then my job is to generate 100 leads, because it's a numbers game. I don't get hung up on the bad leads. I'm looking for the one good lead. So keep that in mind. This is something that agents do over and over. They quit. They do this for a month. I'm sorry. It gets worse than that. Hey, Jim, have you been running your Facebook ads and have you been getting leads? Dave, you're not going to believe it. I got 67 leads in a week. I'm actually talking to 2 of them, and I'm showing houses to 1 of them, and we've written offers. I'm like, great. So how's it going since then? Because I showed you this like 3 months ago. You're going to go, I stopped doing it. Be like, wait a second. So let's get this straight. You did it for 2 or 3 weeks. You got 67 leads. You're talking to 3 of them. You're actually out writing offers, and you stopped. And the answer is, yeah, I stopped doing it. I don't understand. I can understand if you don't like doing it. I can understand if you're like, wow, I don't want to call 1,200 leads to sell 12 houses. I can get that. But when it's working, I don't understand. So agents stop doing everything for different reasons. This will work. Just do it. And I am trying to make sure I set the expectations with you, because too many people sell this as like, hey, this is a gold mine. This is so easy. No, this isn't easy. This is work. You're going to generate leads. You got to convert them. Some are going to work with you. Most are going to blow you off. But if you know that and you know the real numbers behind it, then it's worth doing. And you get to make decisions yourself. And I have somebody requesting remote control of my screen. I'm going to decline that and suggest that you unmic yourself or send us a message. No way I'm giving you my screen. So as of this second, does anybody have any questions about Facebook?
Who's the shy one?
I'm not going to tell you who they are.
You don't have to.
All right. So if I don't get any questions, I will just go to the next screen because I want to show you real leads. This is a screenshot from my account. Between August 13th and August 15th, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 leads right there. And that's only because the screenshot was that big. They all have a real name. They all have a real phone number, and they all have a real email address. But remember what I said. None of those people want to work with me. None of those people know why they should work with me. None of those people probably even looking for a house yet. Some of those people might be living in California, and these ones aren't. I see they're all mostly Arizona phone numbers. This was an ad that I ran in Arizona, but you guys get it. I hate to say it, and this isn't, most agents haven't even gotten a lead in the last 30 days. I'm showing you 10 in a day. So this is a strategy you may want to consider. And as we go through the rest of this class, this is a $300 marketing budget. And actually this right here, this is only $5 a day. But the way I'm teaching this right now, this is a $300 a month marketing budget, $10 a day. We're going to scale this down once we make it through this first pass, and we're going to go all the way to 0. And I'm going to show you how to generate Facebook leads for no cost. It's just going to involve some time.
Hey, David, this is
Yep.
Lisa Hall with HomeSmart in Arizona. I have a question for you. How long do you work these leads? Like, let's say you have these leads, you give them a call first, they don't answer, you shoot them an email, or are you putting them into a drip? Are
Okay.
you
I'm gonna
trying to
answer
touch
it.
them once a week?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it 2 different ways. I'm going to answer it first with a cliche. You market to them until they buy or they die. Okay, but that's not the way I really do it. This is the way I teach it. I would put an honest 15 minutes worth of effort into every new lead. A 15 minutes worth of effort. So see this like Salima Bolito right there. I'm going to go do a few things. First of all, I might Google their name. I might look them up on Facebook. I might send them a Facebook message. I might send them a manual email. Remember, I might send them a video. I might say, hey, Salima, this is Dave Dion over here with HomeSmart in Arizona. I see you're on my website and I wanted to get in touch with you as quickly as I could to see if there's anything I can help you with. I wanted to send you this quick video, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to put 15 minutes worth of effort into doing everything as good as I can. I want to blow their socks off. I want to blow them away, knock their socks off in that first 15 minutes. And then, Lisa, I'm going to put them on standard drips. And my standard drip is going to be better than everybody else's drip, but I'm going to put them on some automated system that's going to follow up with them automatically.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. To me, it's that first 15 minutes though. And these things I'm sharing are all real. Call a lead, I get no answer. I call a lead, I get no answer. I call a lead, they tell me to go jump off a bridge. I call a lead, they tell me nobody's there by that name. Okay? Every agent that does this is going to experience what I just said. I ask agents, I'll be like, so why didn't you call the leads? They'll be like, well, it's a bad phone number. I can tell by looking at it, it's a bad phone number. Well, I'm going to say one thing. You can't tell it's a bad phone number until you picked up the phone and dialed it. So pick up the phone and dial it. Then if it's a bad phone number, you know it's a bad phone number. You never have to call it again. You never have to wonder, is that phone number bad? So there's one thing. The next thing I'm about to tell you, the very first time this happens, Calling leads will make sense for the rest of your career. Hi, this is Dave Dion over here with HomeSmart in Gilbert, Arizona. I saw you were on my website looking at some homes. I wanted to call you as quick as I could to see if there's anything I can help you with. David, thank you for calling me. I have registered on 8 agents' websites, and you're the first person to call me. That is not a lie. That will happen. And then you will call every lead for the rest of your career after that happens. But until that happens, you don't believe me. The moment it happens, you're going to be like, Dave told me that was going to happen. And then you have no problem dealing with all the no answers and stuff like that, because the moment they tell you what I just said, that is your client. You are not going to lose that person. Stacy, go for it.
I've had that exact situation happen, and the buyer later in their testimonial would say, I sent an email to Stacy. I responded to the listing. She called me within 3 minutes. Nobody else called me back. Nobody ever called me back. And that's how I got them as buyers.
Yeah. So again, just set the correct expectations. See those phone numbers right there? When I call, most of them aren't even going to answer their phone. I already know that going in. I'm looking for the one that does answer their phone. I could care less about the ones that don't. So just keep that in mind. And then Lisa, here's something. I had a buyer in California, a lead in California, and it was a $3 million Rancho Santa Fe lead. I'm like, I am going to do every single thing I can to convert this lead. I am going to pull out every trick in the book. I'm going to call them, email them, text them. I'm going to send a video. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And two things happened. I realized, well, actually, two things happened. They didn't respond to my best. The very best things I could do, I could not get them to respond. But 9 months later, the automatic drip went out. It put the right message in front of the right person at the right time. And they contacted me and they said, Dave, thank you for sending us those emails for the last 9 months. We are visiting from Washington State and we would like to look at homes this weekend. Are you available? So the right message in front of the right person at the right time. But more importantly, this is what I realized on that single lead. You cannot convert a lead before that lead is ready to be converted. So this list of people right here, I do not know what Ella's motivation is. I do not know what Lisa's motivation is. I don't know what Rodolfo's motivation is. I don't know one thing about any of these people on this list. But my job is to still want to help them and convince them I'm the right person when the time is right. I cannot get Lydia Gonzalez to work with me until Lydia Gonzalez is ready to work with me. Really process that. And if you understand that, it doesn't matter that people don't communicate. They will if you put the right message in front of them at the right time. Does that make sense, you guys? Just, I see a couple people on my screen. Give me a thumbs up or something. All right, I got a thumbs up. Any questions? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Google and Yahoo paid placement. In case you guys can't tell, I love this stuff. This is all stuff that I have done. This is all stuff that I have produced massive results with. And this is all stuff that I would do if I woke up tomorrow and wanted to sell houses. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. But Google and Yahoo, let's go backwards in time. Let's go back to 2003 when I got my real estate license. I knew that people searched for homes online in 2003. And the reason I knew people searched for homes online is I had just moved from from Massachusetts to Arizona. And when I moved from Massachusetts to Arizona, I would go online and I would type in Arizona homes for sale. And I would click on whatever Google or Yahoo brought me to. I would go to these websites and I would look at homes on their website, and I would click and I would see this beautiful house for $60,000. And I would contact the agent, or I would map it, and I would realize, whoa, Arizona is like 20 times bigger than Massachusetts. And that $60,000 house there, how come it's a $200,000 over here? And then I visited Arizona and I realized, wow, Arizona's diverse. You've got like living out in the middle of nowhere. You've got really nice neighborhoods, but they build the same houses in each neighborhood. So it's only 60,000 there and it's 200,000 over here. So then I would go back to Massachusetts, and not only would I would never search Arizona real estate anymore. I would search Gilbert, Arizona real estate, because now I want to live in Gilbert. So then I'm looking in Gilbert and same thing's happening. I'm seeing this house for 80,000, but I'm seeing it for 200,000 over here. So then I come back to Arizona to look at real estate, and I'm driving around. I'm like, wow, there's 170 communities in Gilbert, Arizona. And they're all different. Some of them are old, some of them are new, some of them are back to power lines, some of them are next to a park, some of them have community pools. I mean, this is awesome. So then I go back to Massachusetts and then I search for Power Ranch homes for sale with a pool. I'm no longer looking for Arizona real estate. I'm no longer looking for Gilbert real estate. I'm looking for Power Ranch homes with a pool. That is how people search Yahoo and Google in the search engines. Think about if you're looking for a part for your car. People go and they actually type in a part number now, or air filter. Well, I answer it like this. If someone goes to Google and they type in replacement filter for my refrigerator, would you all agree that the person typing in replacement filter for my refrigerator is looking to buy a replacement filter for their refrigerator? Do you all agree that the buyer intent is high? It's astronomical. The same is true for real estate. If somebody searches for a Power Ranch home with a pool, I want you to think about the mentality of that buyer right now. They woke up, they sat in front of their computer, and they typed in Power Ranch home with a pool. That person is looking for one thing and one thing only. They're looking for a pool home in Power Ranch. Now, Google and Yahoo and Bing allow you to actually put an ad on the first page of Google. And I believe that you want to be on the first page of Google and Yahoo and Bing when people search for those things. I believe that it is the easiest and most cost-effective way to get found on the first page of Google and the search engines. And I did this little example right here. And let me just see how I can explain this. I do not wake up every day anymore trying to help people buy or sell homes. I run a team. Our team is going to we're on track to do like 485 deals this year. When I wake up in the morning, I want to help agents on our team learn how to generate more business. I do not wake up trying to generate leads to go sell houses. And I want you to understand that, because most real estate teams, the team leader is still in business. They are still in sales. And a lot of teams would not exist if the team leader wasn't still selling houses. That's all fine. That's different models, right? But on our team, Julie and I do not wake up every day wanting to sell houses, period. We don't want to do it. But what we do is we test things. So what I'm about to say is going to sound totally contrary to what I just told you. But I want you to really understand what I just told you is true. I moved into a new neighborhood. It's called Cadence at Gateway. And I have never, ever, ever marketed a neighborhood that I've lived in, ever. I don't want to talk to the neighbors about real estate. When I go outside, I just want to say hi, talk about whatever. I don't want to talk about real estate. But then very next topic after this. So right now we're on Google and Yahoo and Bing, but the very next topic is community farming. I teach community farming, but I also need to prove to the agents it works on the team, because I want them all to sell more houses than they've ever imagined ever. So I test things. I do things. I am farming Cadence at Gateway, but I also built a website and I wanted to be on the first page of Google. If someone searched for Cadence at Gateway Mesa, Cadence at Gateway, Cadence Mesa, Cadence Gateway, Cadence Homes Mesa AZ, I wanted to be on the first page of Google if people searched for those. And here's an example of Google paid placement. Right here, the very top line on the right-hand side of the screen, it says Cadence at Gateway. So what I did, and I'm simplifying this process, I went to Google and I said, hey, Google, if anybody goes to Google and they search Cadence at Gateway, I want you to run my ad. And I want my ad to look like this. And if you look at the blue arrow, that's what my ad looks like. I want my ad to look like this. And when somebody clicks on my ad, I am willing to pay you 40 cents. So I want you to think about this. Somebody's sitting in front of their computer, they're typing in Cadence at Gateway. I'm saying, hey, Google, I want you to run my ad. And when somebody clicks my ad, I'm willing to pay you 40 cents. In the last 30 days, I believe this was a 30-day screenshot that I just took this morning or yesterday, kind of confusing because I'm in Thailand. So it's morning, but it's evening there. Over the last 7 days, this could be 30 days. I actually can't remember, sorry. 84 people have clicked on my website and it has cost me $32. So it has cost me 39 cents per person to get them to my website. That's not bad. Does anybody have any questions on what I said so far? Because I knew I bounced around a little between Google ads and paid placement. I'm going to talk more about Google ads, but I just want you guys to understand. I could go build a website and I could learn something called search engine optimization. And it's going to take me months to actually get on the first page of Google because I have a good website. Or I could log into Google. I could set up a Google Ads account and I could say, hey, Google, when people search for these things, I want you to run my ad. This is what I want my ad to look like. And I'm willing to pay you 40 cents every time someone clicks on it. So I can be on the first page of Google today for any search term that I want to be if I'm willing to spend a certain amount of money. Hope I didn't lose you guys there. Questions?
Not seeing any so far.
Okay, because now I'm just going to go to the next screen. Here.
I have a question.
I'm gonna say, okay, go for it, Demas.
Are you creating a landing page for Google, or Google creates a landing page for you using that?
So I actually create simple websites myself. I am going to talk about the tool that I use to do that. But I create the website myself.
I see. Okay. And that's what Google runs for you when you.
Yeah. So if I go back to that slide, that link right there, you guys could all go type it in. You could go to www.cadenceatgateway.info. So if somebody clicks that ad right there, they end up on my website, www.cadenceatgateway.info. And one of two sites will open up. I have the site switching, the homepage switches between two different pages to test which one works better. But that is my website that Google sends them to.
Okay.
Okay. And on there, I mean, that site's a pretty good example. The site is not a complicated website. It's not the prettiest, flashiest website. But when somebody ends up on that website, I want them to realize one thing and one thing only, that I am the only person they should be contacting if they're interested in Cadence at Gateway Real Estate. Now, back to, I forgot to tell you guys something. Here's the crazy part. I am going to sell 20 houses in that neighborhood this year. I don't even want to sell houses. That is not a joke. So this is something you might really want to consider doing, because I run a team. I spend 99% of my day creating content and trying to help agents on the team. I'm spending no time doing this, and I'm going to sell 20 houses. If you woke up every day and this is what you were trying to do, you would sell more than that. It's that easy. So, all right, let's stick to paid placement, because the very next topic is actually community marketing, which is a little bit more in line with selling the 20 houses, but paid placement is a big part of it. At the $500 a month budget, you're going to spend $17 a day. You're going to write a compelling ad, and you're going to give people a reason to click your ad. You choose the search terms. You don't want to be on the first page of Google for Gilbert, Arizona used car dealer. So you don't run an ad when people type that in. You tell Google, when somebody searches for this search term right here, I want you to run my ad. If they don't search for this, I don't want you to run my ad. So it's super simple. You specify how much people will pay when they click your ad, and you don't pay anything if they don't click your ad. Think about it. Think about the last ad you ran in a magazine or a newspaper. You wrote your check. It was $600 a month, but you wrote the check and you didn't know if you're ever going to get a lead from it. This way, you're only paying when people click it, and they click it and they end up on your website. Demos, do you have a question?
You're going to tell us about that, how you create the website.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
Remind me, but I'm going to get to that.
Thank you.
So remember, people are not paying unless they click. You'll direct them to a website of yours, either the home search, results, or lead capture. Stacy?
Yeah, so when you're talking about when you go to Google and you tell them you'll pay them for this that you're talking about, how do you actually get to that point to do it? Or are you getting to that?
I'm not going to teach that. That is a class in itself. So you remember when I said each one of these topics is sort of like a bigger topic on its own? I want to simplify it the way I'm telling you, because it is this easy once you know how to do it. Hey, Google, when somebody searches for this, I want you to run my ad and I want it to look like this. I want you to remember it's that simple once you get to that point. So I want you to Google, learn Google ads. If you go to Google and you type in learn Google ads, you will start to learn the process of how to do it.
Okay.
Okay. It is a class by itself.
When is that class?
I don't know. I don't have one scheduled, but it's a class by itself. And the truth is, it's so hard to teach the class because there are screens that you see that I can't show you. Like when you go set up your account, there's a process, but I already have like 3 or 4 Google AdWords accounts. I can't keep going and creating new ones. So I could maybe do it for somebody, like we could go through, but there's screens, there's things you're going to experience that I'm not going to be able to show you. And the process does change. Like they throw a screen in there that I've never seen before. So it is something for you to go research and understand the concept, first of all. Fair?
Yep.
All right. Now, this next little line, I want you to understand on average that it takes 30 website visitors to generate a lead. That means I'm directing people to my website, but it takes 30 visitors before one of them communicates with me. And that's fine. Just understand that. So it takes 30 visitors to generate a lead. If I paid 50 cents for every visitor, that means I would be paying $15 per lead. I would be generating 30 to 35 leads a year, or 400 leads per year. These leads will convert much higher than a Craigslist lead and they will convert much higher than a Facebook lead. Remember, they're going to Google and they're typing in exactly what they're looking for. Carlsbad, California, ocean view home with a pool. Your job is to bring them to Carlsbad, California, ocean view homes with pools. They're looking for it. Your ad gets them to click it, and then you bring them to Carlsbad, Oceanside, Carlsbad, oceanfront, ocean view homes with pools. That conversion rate is going to be higher, and it will be higher than 2% if you get good at converting leads. But let's use 2% conversion rate. That means you will do 8 deals per year from this. This is a no-brainer. You will do 8 deals per year from this. So now, community farming. This was a whole 2 or 3 hour class that I held not that long ago. And I actually used the same slide format. So there is farming, and then there's farming. And the title of my last class on this topic was Not Your Mama's Community Farming. What I mean by that is lots of agents farm, and their farming is so boring and so lame and so weak. It involves a postcard talking about how awesome they are. Literally, look at the junk mail you get from realtors. If you get junk mail from realtors and you throw it in the trash, that means if you put the same stuff in the mail, people are going to throw it in the trash. So I just want you to really think about that. Give people in your farm a reason to contact you. And you have got to bring this farming to a level that you never, ever, ever thought of before. And I'm just going to touch on a few pieces right here. You need to do a monthly mail piece. It's par for the course. But you will not give up on this after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. And it's funny because that's my neighborhood right there. And when I moved into the neighborhood, agents also had moved into the neighborhood. There's a few agents in there, and they started farming. In my opinion, they did everything wrong. The farming pieces talked about how awesome they were, and they used one of the delivery services that put the junk mail in people's doors. Well, we all have Ring doorbells and sensors at our front door. And these delivery people were showing up at 5 a.m. and everybody's Ring sensors were going off on their houses. So everybody was like pissed off. And then everybody would go open their door and this big pile of junk mail would fall on the ground. So I was laughing because I was like, oh, this is going to be easy because these agents have just pissed everybody off. So you want to look at what other people are doing and you want to do stuff better. Okay, so we want to get a piece of marketing stuff in their mail every single month. We want to create a community real estate website. Thus, my website that I already talked about, cadence@gateway.info. There's not another real estate agent that has a Cadence at Gateway real estate website. I have a Cadence at Gateway real estate website. Now, because I have it, my job is to tell everybody that I've got a website and nobody else does. Then a Facebook group. Agents, I know what I'm about to say is going to speak to some of you. Do not start a community Facebook group where you open it up to all the residents bitching, moaning, and complaining about every little thing going on in the neighborhood, including whose dog pooped on the sidewalk, who left plastic cups at the swimming pool, who left the tennis court gate open. Do not start a community Facebook group thinking that you're going to trick people into using you because you're a realtor and you're going to control that group. It is not worth the headache. It is not worth the hassle. It's not worth any of it. Now, some of you may be effective at it, and that's great. But what I have found is instead of creating the community Facebook group that allows everybody to bitch, moan, and complain, I'm going to go start my own Facebook group, and it's going to be Cadence at Gateway Real Estate Information, period. The only thing you're going to find in there is community related real estate information. The only real estate agent that's going to post in there is me. And the only people that are going to be members of that group are people that are interested in Cadence at Gateway Real Estate Information. Make it clear. Now that I have the Facebook group, my only job is to tell everybody in the neighborhood that I have the Cadence at Gateway Real Estate Information Group. Does that concept make sense? And then you share information in there 2 or 3 times a week. And it's information that they want to see, which the very next thing, community and area market update videos. I started thinking I was going to do a weekly market update video, and that's actually what I suggest all of you do. And I called it the Cadence at Gateway Weekly Real Estate Roundup. And for 9 minutes, I would have the MLS open, and I would show the homes that are listed for sale in the neighborhood and give my opinion. I would show the homes that were under contract in the neighborhood, and I would show the homes that had sold in the last week or two. And then I would use a product like Altos Research or something like that, where I would talk about the market in the zip code 85212. I would do the zip code overview, and then I might do the city overview. All the time in my video, I'm talking about my websites that I have. I'm talking about my Facebook groups, but all I am doing is providing information. I am not telling people how awesome I am, if they're looking to buy or sell a home anytime soon, if they want top dollar with the fewest hassles. I am not mentioning any of that. I am only providing information, which brings up a big point. I believe the easiest way to convert a lead, first of all, is not try to convert them. I believe the easiest way to generate a lead is not trying to generate a lead. Meaning, we are information providers. You can provide information without ever asking for business, and you can get business. It's just my approach. I don't want to be sold. I do not want to feel like, oh, this guy trying to get me to work with him to buy or sell a house. I do not want that myself. I am not going to do it that way. I provide periodic information that I think people want to see. Now, I also have community Facebook page. The group is private and it's members only. You have to approve the members. So in our little neighborhood, I've got like 250 members. These are people that all contacted me wanting to be a member of my group. And one of the requirements of being a member of my group is you either live in the neighborhood or want to live in the neighborhood. It's that simple. So I have a captive audience and I provide info. Demos, I saw your microphone off.
Did I hear correctly? You said your videos are 90 minutes long?
No, 9.
9.
9. Yeah, no, 9 to 13 minutes.
Okay. And what kind of a viewing rate do you get?
It varies. It varies because if I was doing it weekly, it would actually be higher, believe it or not, but I do it kind of sporadically. So
Okay.
People aren't expecting it, but when they were expecting it, like I was always doing it on Wednesdays, I'd get 15 or 20 views, like right out of the gate.
Mhm.
But now that I do it much more sporadically, which you should not do, you should do it periodically. You should do it weekly or every other week.
Did you find Wednesday is the best day?
I found Wednesdays fine. It was easy for me because I could pre-record them too. So I'd have plenty of time. There's something I wanted to tell you guys. Give me a second. I'll think about it. Never mind. Also in my farm, I would suggest this. The very first thing you do every day, you wake up and you open the MLS and you want to know if there's any new listings. You want to know if there's any new pendings. You want to know if there's any new solds, and you can do posts on that. You don't have to do a video on that. You can say, hey, check out this new listing. Even if it's not your listing, I am just providing information. Hey, there's a new listing in our neighborhood. If you want to go see it, let me know. Hey, there's a new listing in our neighborhood. Look at, they're asking $695,000. That's awesome. I hope they get it. Even if it's not your listing. And that gives you content. So you always have stuff to post in your Facebook group and your Facebook page. And then there's more. Custom signs. I do a custom sign on every listing. Why? Because nobody else is doing a custom sign on every listing. Think about it. It cost me $100 to do a custom sign. One of my very last deals, this was the way the phone call went. This is the way it went, actually. Let me tell you the way it went. So 3 or 4 years ago, I had somebody running my team. So his phone number was on a few things. This person went to one of my listings and my sign was in front of my listing, my custom sign. It has pictures of the house. It has my logo on there for the community. I mean, it's an awesome sign. And they didn't write down my phone number, but they remembered. They said, that Dave Dion, he works at HomeSmart. They went home and they Googled Dave Dion at HomeSmart. They went to the HomeSmart website and they found me on the HomeSmart roster, which my phone number on the HomeSmart roster is not correct. It's my guy's phone number that ran my team 4 years ago. I don't even know what his phone number is doing on there. They called that phone number. They left a voice message. That agent contacted me and says, hey, Dave, you got a lead. I don't know where they came from, but you got a lead. I wanted to make sure you get it. So I called the lead and she told me that what I just told you. She saw the sign. She thought it was the most awesome sign. If she's going to sell her house, she wants that sign in her front yard. Well, I only do custom signs in my farm, and my farm has a website and it has cadence@gateway.info. So you better be sure cadence@gateway.info is on my sign. You better be sure there's a logo on there. So you understand all these things. Not one thing I just told you about community farming will work by itself. But when you combine all these things, that's where you start to get these stupid results. And to me, 20 deals this year without waking up every day trying to do it, that's stupid results to me. So Stacy?
Yeah, so when you were talking about your monthly mail piece and you were saying that you don't sell yourself, what is your content then?
Okay, perfect. So I want to first of all build credibility as quickly as possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to show activity. So let's pretend I had never even sold a house in this neighborhood. What I did, this is the first marketing piece that I suggest. What I do is I go into the MLS and I look at all the homes that have sold in the neighborhood in the last 12 months. And then I sort, or I find out ones that were sold by agents in my brokerage. And my first marketing piece includes photos of those homes. And I am not being deceptive. I might say, look at the homes that our agents at HomeSmart have sold in this community in the last 12 months. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't use 12 months. I am very vague when I talk about the time period, but I want that first marketing piece to be like, wow, they do business in our neighborhood. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now I talk about expectations. My expectations from that first marketing piece are actually zero. Zero. Because my farming approach is not a 1 month hit it and done type of approach. Now I then have to follow up with more marketing pieces. So the next ones, I do a variation of things, and I want you guys to remind me of 2 things that I have to share. So Demos had asked about websites. I also want you to remind me of something that I use for farming. It's a cost-effective thing that I use, and I use it in addition to what I'm going to talk about now. So now I have to send things monthly. So the very next marketing piece that I did in Cadence, for example, was telling the people that I have the Facebook group and inviting them to join my Facebook group, because I believe there's information in my Facebook group that might interest them. So instead of waiting for realtors to send them junk mail to find out how much the home down the street sold for and how much the home down the street is for sale for, you can either go to my website or you can go to my Facebook group and you can send me a message or whatever, and I can get you that information anytime you want. You don't have to wait for the next piece of junk mail from all the other realtors that are going to market to you. I hope you get what I just did, because I then turned everybody else's mailing pieces into junk mail that can go straight in the mail, straight into junk, straight into trash, because now they have a website they can go to, they have a Facebook group they can go to. Then I might tell them about what I do different. Look, I do Matterport on every listing. I do drone photos on every listing. I create floor plans with room dimensions for every listing. So I am going to send them a marketing piece on that, because I want them to think of me. If they're thinking of selling their house, I need them to think of me first, period. They might have sisters, brothers, uncles, cousins who are realtors. I want to compete against their sphere of influence.
I think
Then
that's also better than the newsletters with the recipe for banana bread and stuff that's been going on for 30 years.
yes and no. I might, after 12 months of hitting a neighborhood hard, I actually may go to a quarterly newsletter, believe it or not. They already know who I am. Like, I've already established that I've got the website, I've got the Facebook group, I can answer their questions. I'll come over to their house, talk to them about their options without pressuring them into this. I'm doing all this other stuff already. I might actually go to a quarterly newsletter, but I'm not going to start with a boring quarterly newsletter. It isn't for me. I want to hit them hard. Now, I am going to tell you about a product that I use. I'm not going to endorse it. If it fits into your business, fine. I have good results with it, but I also know what I expect from it. I use a third-party company called Boomerang DM, Boomerang Direct Marketing. And what they do is they send like a buy one, get one free offer for a local business on my behalf. And I use them every other month. It costs 97 cents a piece. I use them every other month. And that only makes my life easier, because then I don't have to come up with something every month. They do it for me. I just put in my database. Now, what's funny is the homeowners look forward to it. They look forward to their buy one, get one free at Haagen-Dazs or Texas Roadhouse. So again, you have to understand your expectations. That is really just putting my name in front of more people on a periodic basis without the expectation of getting my phone to ring from that piece specifically. It just makes my life easier. If I was doing this full time, I would not use Boomerang DM. I would go create one myself. I would go approach a local business and I would get them to give me a buy one, get one free offer or a discount offer. I would go create my own marketing piece and I would mail it myself. Does that make sense? Now, what am I going to expect from $1,000 per month? Let's just assume our farm size is 1,000 homes. What 1,000 homes does at $1,000 a month is gives me $1 per month to market to every home in the community. And that's easy. That means I have my budget. It's not like, oh, where am I going to get the money to market? I've already said I have $1,000 per month to market to 1,000 homes. If there's an 8% turnover rate in there, that means there's 80 homes that are going to sell in a given year. That means there's 160 sides. Remember, I want buyers and sellers in there. I don't just want sellers. I want buyers and sellers. There's 160 sides. If you combine just a few things I just talked about, your print marketing with a Facebook page and a Facebook group and weekly market update videos, a real estate website. And if you provide real value and information and stop trying to sell and just give information, if you become the first person people think about when it comes to real estate, you will easily sell 8 houses a year in there. I can't even believe I put the number 8 on this slide, because you will all wake up every day wanting to be the king of your community. And by the way, I've gotten messages from people telling me, from other agents, Dave, you're the king of that community. Can you tell me about the new builds in there? Or Dave, these are real words and real messages from real estate agents. Dude, you're the guru, you're the cadence king. What's going on in there? I mean, literally, that's what you want to be. You want other real estate agents to know this is your territory. And if they put up a sign in your neighborhood, it should piss you off. You should go out there and you should do everything you need to do to never let that happen again. Now, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen over and over and over and over again. But you need to go in there with that fire. And if you go in there with that fire, that number 8 that I have on this slide is a joke. You could do 8 in your sleep. Let me show you what happened this week. And what I'm about to show you this week happens over and over and over and over again. So the message is to me on Facebook. Dave, we just put a deposit down on a Toll Brothers home, so you guys sold a house. Okay? I want you to first of all visualize what your life would look like if you got a message like that 6 times a year. Because I get messages like that at least 6 times a year. That is a person that lives in the neighborhood, that is buying a new house in the neighborhood, and it's a new build, but it could have been a resale, and they put me down as their agent. That check right there took me 0 seconds to earn. I did not go to the builder. I didn't go to their house. I didn't do anything. They registered me as their agent. And then look at me and Alan. So Alan is the agent who's working in there with me. He moved into the neighborhood. I don't want to sell houses in there. He moved into the neighborhood, so he's my guy. He's selling houses in there. Alan goes, hey, congratulations. Which one are you buying? And then Robert says the big single story. We sold the house and we didn't even know what we sold. The client told us we sold a house. And then very next 3 days later, he sends us another message. What are your thoughts on the proper timing strategy for selling our current home? We have a rental lined up in Cadence if we sell our new home, if our new home isn't ready yet. So now we just sold a house and we're listing a house. Then it gets better. We're looking to buy a quick move in from Toll Brothers to live in for a few years until our new build, for a year until our new build is ready. That dude went and bought another new build and I'm his agent. This is 3 deals from what I just shared with you. This is 3 deals. I haven't been in any of the houses yet. So take this topic, forget the $1,000 a month part. Do not let this $1,000 a month hang you up. This right here was a result of me participating in the community, positioning myself as the go-to person, and that's about it. So let's just summarize the 2. Go for it.
Got a couple questions.
Good.
One, where to go? Who makes your custom signs?
So we use a place called Signorama Chandler. It's a template. I don't know. Give me 1 second. I might have a slide here that shows it. I can't remember. Okay, I don't have it super easy to show you, so I'm not going to show you. But I will tell you that they're oversized. So they're not the standard small signs. They're like 24 wide by 36 tall. In the upper left-hand corner is a picture of the house. In the upper right-hand corner is just a general for sale, like the words for sale and stuff. Then in the middle of the center, big, there's a huge interior picture of like the best part of the house. It might be the kitchen, it might be the backyard. And then the lower left is contact information and branding. And then lower right is another picture. So there's 3 pictures of the home on there. The lower left is contact, like branding and contact information. The upper right is for the fact that the house is for sale. And you can Google like custom real estate signs, and it's worth it. The best $100 per house I've ever seen. I'm bummed out when I don't have a listing in there because those signs kick ass.
Julie, it looks like just added a PDF of the listing sign
She did.
to the chat box. Yep.
Awesome. Let's go look at it in the chat.
Put in one of the recent one that I did.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for doing that, Julie. Thanks for sharing that.
And I just want to add on the boomerang. So I sent my boomerang, just went out, and I got 3 texts this morning with a picture of the postcard thanking me for sending it.
Awesome.
They're getting free crumble cookies.
Only do that as an enhancement. That would not be my $1,000 a month farming to my neighborhood. You have to integrate it in. Do not say, I'm going to go send $1,000 of those a month and that's it. That will not produce the results. It's part of the big picture. So just really keep that in mind. It's something you want to enhance what you're doing with. Once people know who you are, they want to see that thing. So that's why it works. It works with your sphere of influence, and it works with farming once you're established. I would never farm with that from the beginning, ever.
I've got another one for you. If your thoughts on if your community is small and doesn't have a lot of turnover, can you go with a wider radius that includes several community names?
Yeah. So I've had agents actually create names. So in Gilbert, Arizona,
I'm trying to look for it.
give me a second, Monica. Okay. In Gilbert, Arizona, there was this area and it wasn't really defined. It didn't even have a name, but the agent went and like, wow, I'm going to name it. So he called it the Burke District. He created the Burke District and then started farming to it like it was something, like he was king of the Burke District. So you could name things. You could get creative on how to do that. You know, you say a small neighborhood. Let's say there's 100 homes. Let's talk real numbers now. Let's say there were 100 homes and a 5% turnover rate. That means there's only 5 sales a year in there. You have to set your expectations correctly. Even if you got 20% of them, that's only 1 deal a year. So I use my examples on bigger numbers. know that this works just fine for smaller numbers too. It's just you have to understand, you might market to a neighborhood for a year before you do a deal if there's only 100 houses in the neighborhood. All right. I'm going to summarize the $2,000 a month budget, and then we're going to blast through, because then I'm just going to break it down to 1,500, 250 and none. And I'm going to go fast through that because you guys got it. You got the dose of Dave here. We've already been going for 2 hours, and I'd go for 2 more, but we're not going to do it.
I've had several
$2,000
that had
marketing budget.
appointments. I had several that had appointments, had to go, but they didn't want to leave. They went
All right.
unwillingly.
$24,000 marketing budget. What I just showed you, those numbers I just showed you is 34 deals a year. And this is real marketing, really doing something. So 34 might seem like a lot to some of you because you don't have marketing budget. You sell your 8 or 10 houses a year and you do this, you do that, you do this. You're not systematic about it. And that's all great. So 34 might seem astronomical to you, but there's not one of those examples that I just gave you that would not produce the results. Craigslist, I don't care if you do it or not. It's a lot of work. You're going to sell 6 houses. Facebook, I don't care if you do it or not. It's a lot of work. You're going to hate your life when you generate 100 leads and nobody responds. But there are 12 deals in there if you know how to work them. The search engine placement, super simple. You build a good website, you get people to your website. You build a website on, and I'll just use an example, VA home buyers. You run an ad for VA home buyers. The VA home buyer searches for something on Google. They end up on your VA home buyer website. They become a lead. You will easily sell 8 homes a year there. And then the neighborhood marketing, it's a joke I put 8 there. But those all add up to 34 deals a year. And if you were only making $8,000 a transaction, so I'm trying to bring every market into realisticville here. This is not, I'm not putting $20,000 a home there. I'm not putting $15,000. I'm saying $8,000 a transaction. That's $272,000. With that said, we work at HomeSmart. The costs to work at HomeSmart are very low. Okay. So I say $8,000 per transaction right there. If you're in a market where your average transaction pays you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, why not offer a buyer rebate of some type? These are numbers. This is like, that can just enhance your business. Like, I believe if somebody works with me on a new build and I give them some of the commission back, and that is the reason why they worked with me, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, some agents don't want to give up any penny of their commission. I respect that too. But if you're in a market where the dollar values are so high and you're at such a low cost company like HomeSmart, you have flexibility that agents at EXP, at Keller Williams, at Century 21, at all these high cost brokerages don't have. Why not enhance your marketing by offering a rebate? We're not going to get into that because I don't want to actually debate the merits of that, but people do choose their realtors sometimes based on things like that. Okay, does anybody have any questions about that marketing budget right there or what we talked about so far?
Stacy does.
Well, I was just gonna say what you're talking about, the buyer rebate in hot markets like in Seattle, sometimes that buyer rebate is what will get you the client because people are just penny pitching to make as much as they can off their listing.
Sure. Let me go back to this right here. I do offer a buyer rebate if somebody buys a new build in Cadence. I will tell you that one of the reasons Robert did what he did is because of that buyer rebate.
Mm-hmm.
I can also tell you this. I really got to, this blows my mind. I do not want to be everybody's friend in my farm. The truth is, I don't want to go out and I don't want to talk about real estate. Like if I meet a neighbor, I just want to meet the neighbor, right? But with that said, there are other realtors that are social butterflies in my neighborhood. Robert is the most social person in our neighborhood. Robert knows every single person in our neighborhood. Robert parties. Robert's a good guy. Robert does charity. Robert helps people. Robert's the first guy you call if you need somebody to fix your toilet. Robert is there for everybody. Robert parties with the other realtors that live in the neighborhood. I do not party with Robert. Robert sent me this message. He did not send his friends this message. Why? Because of everything I do in the community and my buyer rebate. So did I give away 10 grand here or did I make 20? You guys decide.
You made 20.
Exactly.
Saw some referrals.
It's off the hook. It's stupid. I say that it blows my mind, the business that I can do in there. And I know that everybody on this call can do more than that. You just have to think about what you're doing. Let's blast through this now. If I'm going to spend $1,000 a month, I'm going to reduce my farm to 500 homes. That's it. Instead of 1,000, I'm going to go to 500. I'm going to spend $300 a month on search engine placement. I'm going to spend $200 a month on Facebook ads, and I'm not going to pay anybody to do my Craigslist ads for me. I'm going to do them myself. With $1,000 a month marketing budget, I'm still going to help 22 people buy or sell a house using the numbers that I used earlier. Same ratios, everything super realistic, nothing funky in there. So you can sell 22 houses a year for 12 grand. Let's go to $500 per month. I'm not going to spend money on community farming. I'm not going to spend a nickel on it. But what I am going to do is I'm still going to build a website. I'm still going to do my Facebook group. I'm still going to do community videos. I'm still going to do market update videos. I'm still going to do just solds and just listeds and just closed posts in my Facebook group. And I'm still going to tell every single person in the neighborhood that I do it. How am I going to do it? First of all, I'm going to tell them with my mouth. Second of all, I'm going to go to our HomeSmart office that provides free black and white printing. And I'm going to print the ugliest flyer you've ever seen. It's going to be a black and white flyer, but it's going to have my message on it. And I'm going to hand deliver them to every house in the neighborhood once a month. So I'm not going to spend the money to do it, but I'm still going to do it. And it's not even going to be the prettiest thing ever, but it's going to be something that they read and resonates with them. I'm going to spend $300 a month on search engine marketing. I'm going to spend $200 a month on Facebook ads. I'm going to spend nothing on Craigslist ads. So that's $500 a month. With $500 a month, guess what? I am still going to sell 22 houses a year because I am still going to sell 6 homes from Craigslist. I am still going to sell 7 homes from Facebook ads. I'm going to sell 5 homes from paid placement. And I'm only going to sell 4 houses from neighborhood marketing. Those numbers still add up to 22 houses a year. They're all very realistic. Now, let's go to 250. I'm still going to post to Craigslist. That's not going to cost me any money. I'm still going to do my neighborhood marketing. Not going to cost me any money. I'm going to do $100 a month on Facebook ads, and I'm going to do $150 a month on paid placement. I'm still going to sell 15 houses a year. Now I'm going to spend $0. Remember I talked about money buys leverage and time? This is an example of it. We already talked about, I'm still going to market to the neighborhood, but I'm not going to spend any money on it. I'm not going to spend any money on search engine placement, but I'm going to learn search engine optimization. And I'm going to start doing YouTube videos, which, by the way, YouTube videos are a gold mine if you get into providing information that people want to see. I know an agent in Arizona who sells 10 houses a year with zero marketing budget from YouTube. And I'm going to tell you his name. You should write it down. Ryan Meeks, Meeks. Ryan Meeks. Type in like Ryan Meeks real estate or something on YouTube and go look at the videos he does. He posts on average one video a week. I find his videos very informative and entertaining. He has 2,200 subscribers. He does a lot of things right, but he could do things even better. And he sold 10 houses last year without picking up the phone and calling anybody. His leads find him, and they find him through his YouTube videos. And YouTube videos are one of those things that I actually want to start really teaching agents how to do. It's not, hey, I'm the world's greatest realtor. It's not about that. It's providing information that people are looking for. And I say YouTube because Google likes YouTube. So I could go do a YouTube video, believe it or not, on Power Ranch homes with pools. And Google would reward me by showing my video the next time somebody searches for Power Ranch homes with pools. So I could pay Google, or I could learn what Google likes. And YouTube is one of those things that I would do to get Google to like me. $0 a month on Facebook ads. I won't spend any money on Facebook ads, but I will start putting posts in Facebook Marketplace, in various Facebook groups like yard sale groups and community groups. Won't cost me any money, but I can do it, and I'll get some deals from that. And I'm not going to spend any money on Craigslist ads because I'm going to do them myself. I honestly believe if I did those things that I just showed you, I would still sell 15 houses a year. I would sell 6 houses a year from Craigslist. I would sell 3 or 4 homes a year from Facebook, from posting in Facebook groups in Marketplace. I would sell 2 or 3 deals a year from my YouTube videos, just getting started. And I would sell 4 houses a year from my community marketing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is still 15 houses a year, making $120,000 a year at $2,000 a month. At $0 a month. So I want to stop for a second. I see my next 2 slides that are coming up. I am done, except I'm going to share 2 tools that I use. They're both things that cost you money. I'm going to explain how to use them. But I want to open it up to questions before I talk about those 2 things I'm about to show you.
Come on, someone's got to have some questions.
Do you offer coaching?
So I used to believe most real estate coaches became coaches for a reason. And that's because they probably were not great at the business, right? So let me say that. Second thing is, I did earlier this year start a plan to put all of my training videos online and open them up to all HomeSmart agents. That is a project that is started. The truth is, I'm about 50% done for my team, and I'm 0% done for HomeSmart. So my plan was to make every single video and training thing I ever do available to all HomeSmart agents. It's a work in progress. And no, I do not do coaching and training, even for money. I believe if somebody contacted me and they offered me like $1,000 a month, which is what coaches get, I would probably say no, because my plate is so full with just my team and teaching agents how to do this stuff, like this type of stuff, and not become a real estate coach or a trainer.
Right.
I will, just a little plug. I just found out yesterday, Dave is also doing our Home Smart Zoom on Friday, the 27th. And the topic is on lead generation.
So I am doing a smart Zoom on the 27th.
Yeah, did you not know that?
I know that Home Smart has been trying to get me to do it. So I guess I'm doing one on the 27th.
I just heard it yesterday in our franchise leadership call. So
All right. I guess that's one way to get me to do it. Just book me. So
maybe I jumped the gun on it.
oh, that's awesome. Okay, so
Yeah,
other question.
So we'll blast it out too for everyone here.
There's going to be a lot of similarities between what I just went over and what that class might actually be a condensed version of this, because I think the Smart Zooms is only an hour. So
Yeah.
it might be a condensed version of this. All right, I see Stacy has a question.
No, I'm just nodding in agreement.
Okay, I'm looking at the chat. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat other than sending out the video, so that's good. So now for those that have stayed on, I'm going to share two tools with you. These are both tools that I use. These are both tools that I would never, ever, ever, ever suggest unless I thought the value was incrementally higher than the cost. And I am being cautious when I say these things because both of these tools do have that affiliate component to them, meaning when people sign up, I get compensated. And I'm going to tell you, for 15 years in real estate, I was anti-MLM. Anti. If I found out something had an affiliate payment structure to it, I immediately shut them off. I wanted nothing to do with it. One of these tools, I kick myself every day right now for not looking at this one 15 years ago. So I wanted to just preface it with that. I have been against the affiliate component of tools, people promoting things because they get paid. I want you to use my link. I'm not going to lie. It is so cool to have my tool paid for because other people sign up for it. But when you see how I use this, you'll see the value. So I am going to this right here. This is send out cards. Okay. Two reasons why I kick myself on this, never using send out cards. For one, I have sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses myself, and I have never followed up with a past client. Okay. I've never sent them periodic mailings, cards, acknowledged their birthdays or anything. And if I would have done that, I know my business would have been even higher than it is right now. So send out cards allows me to just quickly and easily log in, send a card. Like I can be done in 30 seconds and postage is included. So I no longer have to think, because this is what happens. Wow, I should send that person a thank you card. And then I go to the grocery store or CVS or Walgreens or something. And I went there to buy a card, but I forgot to buy the stupid card. And I bought a candy bar or something instead. And I get home, I'm like, I'm supposed to buy a card. And then I forget for 3 days. And then I go to the grocery store and I've got a list of things I have to buy, but the card isn't on the list. And I go home and I'm like, I forgot to buy the stupid card. And then guess what? I never send the card. Send out cards is phenomenal for that. They have a $37 a month plan that allows you to send one card per day, postage included. Well, that eliminates every problem I've ever had regarding birthdays and anniversaries and, home anniversaries and all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing. But then the column right next to it has an unlimited plan. Unlimited. And I'm going to tell you, unlimited does not mean unlimited. There are limits. Because I came up with a great idea that I'm going to use it for farming. I'm going to take my 600 farm piece neighborhood and I'm going to send out cards, and I'm going to spend $97 a month, and I'm going to farm to every single house in my neighborhood. Well, guess what? You can pull it off. There's a few tricks to it. But for $97 a month, you can easily send 10 to 14 cards every single day. I can send those 10 to 14 cards every single day in less than 5 minutes. So it just becomes a process that I have to do. I have to log in. I have to send them individually. So I have to send 10 to 14 individual cards, but I have custom cards made for my farm, and it takes me 5 minutes a day to send 10 every day. And I've never had a problem exceeding their unlimited thing. Now I have agents sign up and they go in there and try to send 50 a day, and then they get letters about not being in compliance. 10 to 14 a day, I've never had an issue. You can send 300 cards from your desk, postage included, for $97 a month. You can send it to your sphere of influence. You can send it to your past clients. This, if I would have known about this 10 or 15 years ago, I'd probably be living on the beach permanently in Thailand and not just visiting. That's how powerful this is. And then the next one, the next tool is this, thebestsitebuilder.com. This is way more than a site builder. And I'm not going to go into everything that's included in here. You need to go to this website on your own. You need to look at everything you get for the low amount of money that you have to spend. But I build all of my websites in here. And that's an example of a website right there that I built in probably, once you learn how to build them, you can build websites like that in less than an hour. But one thing that it allows me to do is I can build a website. And then when you sign up with that link right there, I can transfer websites to your account. So I can transfer, like, you would almost think of them as templates on, like I've got other websites that I built, and I can transfer the site to your account. And then I've got video series done where I say, okay, go do this, go do this, go do this. And that's how you can make my website your website. But this site right here is, if they charged $500 a month for this, I would probably pay it. If they charged $199 a month for it, I would buy it without hesitation, but I know how to use it. So be careful. If you go and do these things, don't sign up for send out cards and think you're going to try it out. No, sign up for send out cards, promising yourself that you're going to use it. Don't sign up for this product right here and say, hey, I'm going to like check it out. You sign up committing to using it, and you will get 100, 1,000 times the value back from it. That's how powerful this tool is right here. So now I'm done. My 1 hour class went 2 hours and 25 minutes. I don't know how many people are still on. Can you tell me how many people?
We're down to 29.
Okay.
But I have to say that a lot of folks, I have so many direct messages sent to me, folks that had to leave and they didn't want to leave because it was such great information. And so they wanted to make sure we were recording it so that we could send it over to them. So they begrudgingly left.
Cool. Hey, Mark Schultz, how's it going?
Hey, Dion, how you doing? You
How
look
are
good.
you?
I saw the whole thing.
Sweet.
It sounded good, huh?
You pulled yourself off the beach and the golf course to come to my class.
I told somebody I'm skipping golf today just to see Dave.
That's right.
So thank you very much. It was very informative, as
Very
always.
good. Yeah, and for those of you too, we have some folks on here too who aren't currently with HomeSmart. And so we will still send you that recording and everything. And we were happy to have you still join in. Dave Dion is, yes, he says he won't hire out as a coach, but he's still a great coach and such a great trainer. So we'll send that out. We will also send a reminder out about his Lead Gen Smart Zoom the 27th to everybody as well.
All right. And hey, I might come visit you guys over in California around the 7th or the 8th when I fly back from Thailand.
Hey, I'm ready for you to start building that California team too.
Man, my plate's kind of full, you know, traveling back and forth to the beach and going fishing and eating Thai food.
Well, we loved it. Thank you so much for taking the time, especially at, the crack of dawn in Thailand. And we just can't say enough as far as how much phenomenal information. I was taking my notes too. So you've given us some great ideas.
All right.
Bye. Good seeing you, Dave.
Bye,
See you guys
Dave.
later. Thanks
Thanks,
everybody
Dave.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
information. Bye.
Fantastic.
Bye-bye.